The golden pair of INTPs and INFJs. How good is a relationship like that, really? It's quite good, actually. A lot of people say, "Oh no, it can never be good. Be with an ENTP." I say to those people, go keep yourself safe. Please keep yourself safe because I really, really love you and I just want to make sure that you're safe. Please don't, under any case or circumstance, kill. The INFJ INTP relationship is so interesting because it's been hailed as like the only real, the original, the OG golden pair, as the really special thing. And there is some really good reasons for it. I mean, think of INTPs, literal walking geniuses with such impeccable creativity. And then you have INFJs. I mean, what do I have to say about INFJs other than both Hitler and Jesus were INFJs? I mean, INFJs have been some of the most influential people on this earth because of their ability to synthesize patterns and organize them in a manner that makes them see the future in some way, and to able to be understanding of other people's feelings, even if it's at the detriment of their own, because they can't make up their damn mind, and then everyone else thinks they love everyone. The INTP INFJ relationship is so interesting because it's so different, but we're so similar in some ways. For example, the most things that the INFJ cares about is like the organization and the synthesization, and then people, but the tribe, and then the INTP just this giga chat narcissistic bastard and chaotic cunt. I mean, this room looked worse. I mean, if you think it's bad right now, let me tell you how bad it looks behind the camera. It's a nuclear wasteland. It's Chernobyl. It's something really incredible. So you'd naturally think, oh, types aren't symmetrical and so they cannot work out. Shut the fuck up. In real life, my take on type compatibility is that you shouldn't be with someone who's utterly similar or utterly different, because then just things break down. You take the same responsibilities, or you don't take any of the same responsibilities. It's These are hells you should just avoid. If you're an INFJ, don't be with an INFJ, don't be with an ESTJ, and then every other type we can discuss them. They're on the table. Every other type that you share some similarities and some differences with, they will make for a very interesting, unique constellation, and you should really just go and find out what the best constellation for you is, um, through looking at the function dynamics, through learning theory, through joining our Discord server. You can come there and talk to me because I am genius and I have all the answers. I literally have all the answers. So the INFJ INTP relationship, everyone talks about the pros. We just like so understanding of each other. Whenever problems happen, we just like boop and two introverts together, and it's like goo hoo, and it's like, oh my god, so fantastic. You understand each other's intuition. You're like lovey lovey dovey vovey dovey vovey, and we all get that. There's more than enough videos on the internet talking about everything that's amazing about it, and it's genuinely an amazing relationship. I probably wouldn't want anything else, honestly. I am in one myself. Obviously, this kind of I am highly qualified to talk about why every single INTP in the world should be with every single INFJ. But let's start talking about things to look out for in an INTP and INFJ relationship. The first thing being is that the INTP is considering accuracy all the time, while the INFJ is rather considering feelings and values a bit more than they would be considering accuracy. And so sometimes it can come to a misunderstanding, especially if the INFJ is not functioning at high capacity and over TIing stuff. It can certainly come to some problems from time to time because the INTP said some bombshell that made the INFJ feel bad, but the INTP was never considering feelings. So you really gotta look out for that thing, is that thinking feeling difference. Well, it's really fantastic, especially for a male female dynamic. Most males want feeler girlfriends, most girlfriends, most girls want thinking males. Well, that's fantastic, and it's certainly fantastic that one cares about themselves and the other cares about the other. And that's for an interesting dynamic. You gotta remember sometimes that you have to kind of reach the middle of the road, the middle of the way somehow, through some magic. And yeah, it's something to look out for. The INFJ has to make sure that they're receiving the information correctly, and the INTP has to make sure that they're presenting the information correctly, which is easier said than done. Another problem is that INTPs are like all think hard, feel hard. And so if an INTP thinks, they're like, this is God. But if an INTP feels, they're like, this is God. And so when an INTP loves someone, they're gonna love them all the way 100% till they die. I mean, look at the Matrix, where you literally had Neo and Trinity, and both of them are kind of fucking running for who's gonna kill himself first for the other. That's the kind of thing you gotta be ready for with an INTP, is that they're all in. They really are all in. But the INFJs have some kind of blessing to them, which INTPs have as a curse to them, which they will discover sooner or later, which is that INFJs have a balanced sense of feeling and thinking. They're an observing type. That's kind of the special thing about them. And so that means that the INFJ is never really gonna have as much of in-depth feelings as the INTP is gonna have from the other side. It just isn't ever going to happen, just simply because that's only a thing deciders are capable of, like EJs, IPs. And as an INTP, you gotta really consider that. Well, there's a lot of good that comes with it, for sure. You gotta consider that. Do you want uh, to be the one who's will always be kind of on the more putting value in? The INTP will like literally say fuck everyone, fuck everything. I just need this person. But then the INFJ is like, no, these things are also important. You gotta consider that. You definitely gotta consider that. Other than these two problems, there's obviously the little stuff with like the INTP being overly chaotic, the INFJ being overly controlling. When is it appropriate to say the truth? When is it appropriate to abide by people's values? These little small fights of indifferences are gonna happen. Even potentially the INFJ from time to time disrespecting the SI of the INTP, because they're like, oh, you're fucking long-winded, shut the fuck up, here is my easy explanation of everything you said that completely destroys all the data that it has in and all the structure it has in. I don't need your history session to understand that some people in France decided to attack Germany with their first battalion, but failed because because there was a gigachad German man who had like fucking machine gun. I don't need to understand the French history and the French culture and the German culture just so you could make me an example of how sometimes the number does not matter. You could just say the number isn't always the thing. You could say just quality over quantity at sometimes. These things certainly happen, but overall, the relationship is a pretty good dynamic. It's kind of actually what got me into MBTI. That's kind of my story, but I'm not gonna be long-winded and tell you a story about how I got into MBTI in a video about INTPs and INFJs. So here's your my little tipsy pipsies about INFJs and INTPs as the golden pair. If you liked the video, like it. If you disliked it, tell me what's wrong with it and what's wrong with you. And otherwise, I just recommend you join the Discord server, because we're literally revolutionizing MBTI.